Jack Mercer had owned his mountain ranch for nearly 20 years. Every day he used the same private access road to reach the highway. The road was essential for deliveries, equipment, and daily travel. He never imagined someone would try to take that access away. One quiet morning, Jack drove toward the entrance of his property. Something immediately caught his attention in the distance. Heavy machinery lined the roadway. His peaceful route suddenly looked like a construction zone. As he got closer, the situation became clear. Bulldozers had pushed huge piles of dirt across the entire road. The access route was completely buried. No vehicle could pass through. Fresh warning signs stood beside the blockage. They claimed the area was now under resort control. According to the notices, access would remain closed indefinitely. Jack knew something wasn't right. Back at his truck, Jack reviewed his property records. The documents clearly showed he owned the road. No easement allowed anyone else to close it. The resort had crossed a legal line. The neighboring Blue Ridge Resort had recently expanded its operations. Management wanted greater control over nearby land. Executives believed Jack's road interfered with future development plans. Instead of asking permission, they acted on their own. Jack drove directly to the resort office. He requested a meeting with management. The manager greeted him politely at first. That attitude didn't last long. When Jack presented proof of ownership, the manager dismissed his concerns. He insisted the closure was temporary and necessary. Jack wasn't convinced by the explanation. The facts told a different story. Determined to protect his rights, Jack contacted local authorities. A deputy reviewed the documents carefully. The records appeared straightforward. Ownership clearly favored Jack. That evening, Jack spread maps and paperwork across his kitchen table. He reviewed every survey and permit connected to the property. One forgotten document stood out. It revealed an opportunity no one had considered. The document referenced an old freight route crossing another section of his land. Years ago, it had been registered for commercial access. Although rarely used, the route remained legal. The discovery changed everything. Jack studied the maps more closely. The freight corridor connected directly to a county-maintained industrial road. Unlike the blocked route, it remained fully accessible. Every permit was still valid. Excited by the possibility, Jack began making phone calls. Contractors and transport operators listened carefully. Several expressed immediate interest. By midnight, a plan was already forming. Many trucking companies had experienced delays caused by the resort's restrictions. They welcomed the idea of an alternative route. The freight corridor offered exactly what they needed. Support arrived quickly. At 3 o'clock in the morning, engines started across the valley. Trucks assembled near the entrance of the freight route. Drivers completed final inspections. Everything was ready to begin. The convoy rolled forward before sunrise. One truck after another entered the freight corridor. The road handled commercial traffic smoothly. Operations started without a single problem. As daylight arrived, deliveries moved steadily through the mountains. Businesses received supplies on schedule. Drivers praised the route's efficiency. News spread rapidly across the region. When resort manager Richard Collins arrived later that morning, he was shocked. Traffic had not disappeared as expected. Instead, it had shifted elsewhere. His plan was already unraveling. Richard immediately began making urgent phone calls. He demanded answers from advisors and contractors. Unfortunately for him, Jack's actions were completely legal. There was little anyone could do. Within hours, the freight route became the preferred option for many companies. Deliveries moved faster than before. Businesses appreciated the reliability. Jack's solution worked better than anyone expected. Local business owners quickly noticed the improvement. Products arrived on time, and schedules became predictable. The new route eliminated costly delays. Support for Jack continued growing. Meanwhile, the original road remained buried beneath dirt and rock. The resort refused to remove the obstruction. Yet their closure no longer carried much influence. The community had adapted. To strengthen his position, Jack hired an independent surveyor. Property boundaries were carefully measured. Every marker was inspected. The results confirmed his ownership. The survey produced clear and detailed findings. Property lines matched decades of official records. There was no confusion about who owned the road. The evidence was undeniable. County officials soon became involved. They reviewed permits, surveys, and construction records. Several concerns emerged during the investigation. Attention shifted toward the resort's actions. Inside the resort offices, emergency meetings became common. Lawyers reviewed every available option. The reports offered little encouragement. Pressure continued to increase. While the legal discussions continued, the freight route grew busier. More businesses requested access agreements. Daily traffic steadily increased. What began as a backup route became a major corridor. Residents discussed the situation throughout the community. Many questioned the resort's decision. Others admired Jack's practical response. Public opinion increasingly favored the ranch owner. Inspectors visited the blocked road and documented the scene. Photographs captured the barriers and dirt piles. Detailed reports were prepared. The investigation expanded further. A month earlier, Jack had faced a completely blocked road. Now he operated one of the busiest freight routes in the region. The resort's strategy had failed. The story was entering a new phase. The dispute eventually reached county officials. Both parties were invited to present evidence. Jack arrived fully prepared. His records were organized and complete. Survey maps and ownership documents were reviewed carefully. Boundary lines matched historical records. The blocked road clearly belonged to Jack. Officials took notice. The resort's legal team attempted to defend their actions. However, every argument faced significant challenges. Documentation consistently favored Jack. Their position weakened further. Inspectors presented photographs from the construction site. The images showed exactly how the road had been buried. Officials reviewed each detail. Serious questions followed. Jack explained how the closure had affected his operations. He described delays, expenses, and disruptions. Then he demonstrated how the freight route solved those issues. His presentation impressed many observers. Outside the hearing process, business continued normally. Trucks moved through the freight corridor every day. Deliveries remained reliable. The route proved its long-term value. Business owners shared positive feedback with officials. Many praised the improved transportation access. Several reported increased efficiency. Community support remained strong. Richard Collins faced growing criticism. The blocked road created unnecessary complications. Public pressure increased each week. A resolution became unavoidable. Attention shifted toward restoring the original roadway. Construction plans were discussed. Officials encouraged cooperation between both sides. Progress finally seemed possible. One evening, Jack stood overlooking both routes. The conflict had lasted longer than expected. Yet the outcome was becoming clear. Patience had paid off. Construction crews arrived early the next morning. Bulldozers and excavators began removing the dirt barriers. Weeks of frustration started disappearing. The restoration process was underway. Throughout the day, workers cleared debris from the roadway. The original gravel surface slowly reappeared. Progress continued hour by hour. The road was coming back to life. County officials conducted a final inspection. Survey markers were checked once again. Everything matched official records. Approval was granted. The first vehicles traveled through the restored road that afternoon. Traffic flowed normally for the first time in weeks. Neighbors stopped to watch. Many welcomed the return of access. Jack realized the conflict had produced an unexpected benefit. He now controlled 2 functioning routes. Each served a different purpose. His property had become more valuable. The restored road handled local traffic. The freight corridor continued serving commercial vehicles. Together, they improved transportation throughout the region. Both routes remained busy. Business owners personally thanked Jack for his efforts. His quick decisions had prevented serious disruptions. Reliable access benefited everyone involved. The community appreciated his leadership. The resort eventually accepted the outcome. Lessons had been learned on all sides. Future projects would require better communication. Cooperation became the new priority. As the sun set over the mountains, Jack drove down the restored road. Everything looked exactly as it should. The conflict was finally over. The road ahead was open once again. If you enjoyed this HOA story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more dramatic property disputes and neighborhood stories. What would you have done in Jack's situation? And most importantly, where are you watching from? Let us know in there.